Hello there, I'm Dave and welcome to my workshop. Well, now we've got an exciting episode this week. First of all, I'm going to be wiring up and stringing up the bass guitar, and hopefully we can hear some tones from that. It's 21 weeks since I started it, so wow, or 21 episodes I should say. It's probably more than 21 weeks. We've also got a fantastic guitar story, and so I'm looking forward to that. We've got an entry to our scoring challenge, which is fantastic, and going to be talking about that a bit later. And well, I've got a demo from Rick, whose guitar we featured last week, the Rickocaster, which was a combination of the Rickenbacker and the Telecaster as a 12 string, and Rick has very kindly sent through a demo of that, so I'm looking forward to hearing that too. So wow, got a lot to get through. Stay with me. Whew. Not sure how we're going to do this. Okay, first things first, I'm going to drill the holes for the two knobs. Now then, I apologise if I'm a bit snivelly. It's day 11 of COVID, unfortunately. Anyway, let's crack on. What I've done a very rough template showing me where the recess is there, so I can throw that over there, put that on there, line that up with there, and I know that I need to get the knobs in there somewhere. We should be able to do that, I think, something like that. See, I've on that line there, it looks reasonable. They're quite small, these, both these pots, so I don't think it's too bothered to get them too close together, but that looks all right. So let me just mark that actually with my awl. So we'll have one there, and we'll have one there. Going to go in with this 8mm brad point bit. Now unfortunately this pot has got a very short screw there, so that's not going to go all the way through. So I'm going to have to sink that in a bit, so I think I'm going to get a Forstner bit to do that. Okay, I've got a 35mm Forstner bit, so I'm just going to try and take a little bit out of there. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Okay, that's all right now. So that's done that. So now I'm going to have to put some tape, silver tape or something in there to shield it. Now I've run out of copper tape that I normally use inside these bodies. So I've got some tin foil and I've got some of this spray mount stuff. So my plan is to spray the tin foil with the spray mount and then get that into there. That's the theory. I think I'm going to cut myself some smaller pieces of this and just sort of see if I can paste it together. Let's give it a go. I'm not convinced that's an ideal way of doing it, but it certainly has done it, and it's pretty well stuck, so that should be okay. And I've made the hole which goes through to the bridge, and I've made those 2 holes there for the controls. Okay, I think the first thing I'm going to do, I've got this neck pickup, this jazz pickup for the neck. I'm going to put a shielded cable right from the pickup back to the actual controls, because it's going to go through the body, and I think it would be better just to shield that cable. So see if I can get rid of these. I think what I might do actually is just cut those wires and attach this to the top. Okay, so I've soldered the shielded cable onto this pickup now, and I've put a piece of copper wire through from the back, so I shall now just grip that into there like so. Brilliant. Pull that through while I'm fitting that pickup. Come on. Come on. Through you go. That's it. Through you go. Lovely, lovely. I've just had to file away a little bit of the plastic there because the wire was catching and stopping the pickup sitting right back down. So this should hopefully sort that problem out. Yeah, that's it. That's gone down now. Smash in. Now then, got an interesting problem here in that screw for this pickup, I think, is going to be just a little bit too long, because I make it 34 mil long, and if I put the calipers on the body here, that is exactly 34. Now the body may thicken out a little bit there, but do I take the risk? So what I'm inclined to do is drill a pilot hole in there, start to screw it in. If there's any sign I'm going to come through the back, I'm going to have to cut the end of the screw off. Okay, so I've just had a cup of tea and come back now. I've taken this pickup out so I can have a look at this. Now then, using my calipers, I've measured down into the cavity there, and that is 22 millimeters. I've also then measured the depth of the body on both sides very carefully, and that is 34. Now that means that in theory there's 12 mil underneath there. Now then, I've marked this drill at 10 mil, and I'm going to go and have a well, all I can do is drill. I just hope I don't come through the bottom. Let's see. Okay, so far so good. So what this means is I'm going to have to cut the end off these screws a little, just a little bit. Let's try this one. Okay, let's get the wire back through again. Okay, I'm just going to drill some pilot holes, and I think I'm just going to drill it with them in. I've put a mark on this drill so I know not to go too deep. Okay. So that one. Okay, 2 pickups are in. Whew. Now, let's have a look at the wires. Now, I've done a bit of research on blend pots, and I think it needs to be wired up this way. So, in this diagram, I've got the Jazz Nex pickup and then the split pickup for the bridge. So the first thing is the live wires. So they connect to the blend pot like this, and then from the blend pot they go to the volume pot and then out to the mono 3/4 inch jack socket. And then we've got the earthing, which wires in just like this. So that's what I'm going to tackle. The first thing I'm going to do is tackle those sort of crossover wires on the blend pot. Okay, so I've tinned the wires. I've got this little connecting wire. So let's just connect this in. Okay, so that's the signal. Now I need to put in an earth wire. What I've done, I've actually just moved some of the covering of that, the insulation along, just to reveal a bit there. So hopefully I can just dab that onto there. Let's go for it. Okay. Now I need to solder the live wire from the Jazz pickup, the neck pickup, to the top, to the centre top lug of this blend pot. Should be fun. Shaky hand time. That seems to have gone in. And the other pickup, bridge pickup, to the centre bottom lug. And we'll just need to join those 2 earths up. I shall earth that to the side of the pot there. I'm going to just cut a little bit of heat shrink to cover that earth wire. Okay, this soldering malarkey is a right old fiddle, isn't it? Okay, so now this is the signal out from the blend pot, which goes to the right hand lug of the volume pot. Okay, so the signal will come out from the centre lug on the volume pot, and the earth is attached to the leftmost lug, and it's going to come via the back of the pot. That looks quite good. Okay, that's those 2 done. I need to get an earth wire under the bridge. Just wondering whether, I think I might use this piece of copper actually. That will go through. Well, that took a little bit of a while to get that through, but I've got this copper wire attached to that pot there, so it's earthing on the pot and it's coming through under the bridge. And the reason I'm using this piece of copper is that the bridge is not particularly conductive, and so I think I might need to make sure I've got quite a bit underneath it. Okay. Where did I put the screws? There we are. Let's get the bridge in. Well, look, I've got most of the wiring done. It's not quite finished yet, but I'm well on the way. And you know what? I think it's time for this week's My Guitar feature. For this week's My Guitar feature, I'm very grateful to Robin from the States, who sent me details and photos of his guitar. Now then, Robin had a 3/4 size Taylor Baby acoustic instrument, and he liked that scale length. So he's built an electric solid body guitar using a similar scale length. So this is a 3/4 size 6-string electric guitar. Now, before we go into the details about his guitar, I just want to say that Robin is a fantastic fellow YouTuber. He must post a couple of videos every week, and he uses the various instruments that he's built and that he's got to do covers of a whole variety of songs. And I mean, it covers folk, rock, pop, you name it. I think Robin covers them. One of my favourites is his version of Evergreen. And I'm going to put a link in the corner just up there, because I think it's a fantastic rendition. And he's using a guitar that he's built, a 4-string tenor guitar. So I tell you what, pop along and have a listen, and I'll see you in a bit. Well, I hope you had an opportunity to go off and listen to that fantastic rendition of the Barbra Streisand Paul Williams song, played on that 4-string tenor guitar, which incidentally is the same scale length as the guitar that we're going to be talking about today. Now, we're going to have a look at the spec. Now, I'm going to say at the end of this sort of feature, I'm going to put a link up to a video that Robin posted where he talks about this guitar. So just hang in there, because that's a really good video. And I shall also put all the links to these videos down in the description below. So if you miss them when they fly up on the screen there, don't worry, they'll be down in the description. Anyway, so without further ado, let's have a look at the spec. Okay, now then, Robin said he wasn't able to consider the really expensive hardwoods such as rosewood and ebony and black walnut. I'm afraid neither am I, Robin, so I do sympathise with that. Anyway, he found some nice hard maple, mahogany and alder at a local home store, and some nice honey locust and a piece of ash at the Urban Tree Service place. I think we know them as tree surgeons in the UK, but I get your gist there. Okay, so the body is a composite of strips of ash and alder. That sounds intriguing. The neck is a 3-part laminate made from maple to give it strength. And Robin says the grain is from top to bottom rather than from side to side. Okay. The fretboard is honey locust with mahogany dots. Interesting. Now, let's have a look at the hardware. For the hardware, Robin put in a big order to Amazon. Here goes. A bridge and saddle assembly, locking tuners, string trees, a nut, pots and knobs, a pickup, strap buttons, output jack, a plate and jumbo fret wire. Wow, that's a one-stop shop. Robin decided to fit black components and a hot rail humbucker pickup. Black, it's a nice choice. I love the black components on a light coloured wood guitar. I think they do look really stunning. He used honey locust for the fretboard, as I've mentioned, and the fret dots are mahogany. Now, the side dots are made from a plastic clipboard. Okay, time to own up. Yeah, I've used the plastic struts from an old kite that my daughter had as the side dots for one of my guitars. You know, never throw anything away. The wiring is patterned after a Les Paul Junior with one pickup. And I believe that's the pickup to the volume and then out to the jack, with the tone pot syncing the output from the volume pot to ground via a capacitor. I think that's the gist. There are loads of wiring diagrams on the internet for that. The finish is a mostly clear wipe-on polyurethane on the body, and the fretboard is finished with boiled linseed oil. Okay, so let's have a look at the woods. Now, I've covered maple and mahogany in previous episodes, so I'll concentrate on the alder, the ash and the honey locust. Now, the first wood is alder. Now, I went on the woods database and I found red alder, which I think might be the wood that Robin's used there. This is from the States. It's sustainable, it's not endangered, which is really good news. It's a light tan to reddish brown, and it darkens and reddens with age. And it's fairly easy to work with hand tools and machine tools. And, well, it says the toxicity, it's fairly rare, but eye, skin irritation, that sort of stuff, which is probably usual for most of these woods. Now, the next wood is ash. Now, I've gone onto the woods database and I've identified white ash as probably the one that Robin used. Again, something that's available in the States. Now then, this is an interesting one in terms of sustainability, I can say the word, in that it's not listed in CITES, but it is on the IUCN Red List. And the reason for that is that they've projected there's going to be a reduction of the population of 80% over the next 3 years. Now, I love ash. I thought ash was one of the sustainable woods, but there you are. It just goes to show, doesn't it? There we are. Anyway, it's a light to medium brown. It's easy to work with hand and machine tools. Yep, I know that. And again, once again, with the toxicity, just be careful with it. Now, finally, we've got the honey locust. Now, I've never come across this wood before, so this is really interesting. It's not threatened, it's sustainable, which is fantastic. It's medium to light reddish brown in colour. Workability, it says, can be difficult to work because of its high density. Well, I'm sure that makes a really good fretboard. And there's no particular health issues being reported. Now then, the final wood is maple, and I have covered this before. So what I've actually done is I've created a page on my website, footstepsguitars.co.uk, under the My Guitar feature. And if you go onto that page, you will see a listing of all of the previous videos that I've made for this feature. And you can dip in there and have a look at the woods. I've also shown all of the specs of the guitars, so you can see which ones covered which woods if you're interested to have a look at that. Okay, so let's have a look at this guitar. Now then, okay, let's see this. Well, I can see the body there. That looks pretty tremendous. I don't know how many different strips you've got there, Robin, but that looks quite incredible. This is the ash and the alder strips of wood there. Now, Robin says the neck runs through the body all the way to the back and continues without angle to the top of the headstock, like a Telecaster. Because there's no headstock angle, Robin has used string trees to get the break angle for the strings. Oh, we can see from the back here, with the neck going all the way through, that maple going all the way through the body there. Smashing, absolutely fantastic. yeah, it's a really nice shape as well, and I like the headstock shape. That's really nice. The headstock is shaped like a slimmer version of a PRS, so the strings come off almost perfectly straight. Yep, I think we can see that. And the bridge and saddle are also Fender style, and they're quite low, so Robin made a platform from the honey locust to get the right height. The strings go through the body to ferrules on the back to reduce the pressure on the glued bridge, and that's held on only by a few screws. I see with your mahogany dots, very good. Excellent, really nice. And that pickup is just lifted up with the honey locust block underneath it. Very nice. Oh, I see, now you've got a finger plate. Now this is a finger plate made out of mahogany. He says the pick guard is mahogany painted black and is purely decorative. Nothing's mounted on it. The tone and volume controls are accessed from the back, and there's a mahogany access cover. For the finishing, Robin says he used a clean wipe-on polyurethane on the body, the back of the neck and the headstock, and he sanded the first 4 coats into the wood with 320 grit paper. Then he wiped each coat off with a cloth. This gave him a sort of a grain filling effect. Then he applied 3 coats of boiled linseed oil onto the fretboard, and he says he will oil this again when he changes the strings. And Robin has sent this photo which sort of compares his 3/4 size guitar with a full size guitar there. And that's a nice guitar you've made as well. Very nice. Excellent stuff. For the tools, Robin says, I have a table saw, a bandsaw, a router and a couple of sanders, a bench mounted combination disc and a belt sander and a nice drill press. He says his little bandsaw can't re-saw and he has no surface or thickness planer. So anything that has to be thicknessed, he has to glue them up and either sand them or plane them by hand. He used the drill press with bigger Forstner bits for the body cavities, along with some hand chisels. To level the neck and the fretboard, he attached some sandpaper to a 24-inch spirit level, and the fretboard was radiused with a 12-inch concave sanding block. The frets were cut with a homemade jig. Finally, and I'm intrigued by this, Robin built a custom cross-cut sled for his table saw, and he used this to cut the headstock to the correct thickness. He made a number of cuts and tidied it all up with a chisel. What I like about Robin's approach is he's not just going for bog standard 6-string guitars. He likes instruments with real character, and he uses them on his channel to do these fantastic covers. So not only is he getting benefit from making it, but he's also enjoying using the guitar. And of course he can sing, which is something I'm afraid I can't do. But no, great one, Robin. Really enjoy your channel, and thank you very much for sending us your guitar story. I did promise that at the end of this feature I was going to put a link to the video in which Robin describes the guitar in some detail. So it's going to go up there. And don't worry if you miss it, because I will put links to the videos that I've mentioned down in the description. Cheers. Okay, back to the bass guitar. Now then, I finished wiring in all the controls and the jack socket. Now I think it's time to put the neck on, get the tuners in, see if we can get this thing strung up. So let's get the neck back on again. I've polished up the end of the bolt there, so that looks quite nice. Okay, that's nice and tight. I'll get the tuners in. So the spindle needs to pull against the screw, so that one's going to go on that side. And same again with that one. course, there's one thing I've forgotten to do. I've forgotten to put the side dots in. So, yeah, I'm going to do that now. I've got my little plastic poles there, so. Okay, I've got it all clamped up. My centre finder ruler. So, 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. In between there and there. 4, 5, 6, 7. I've just marked them lightly in the centres with the Chinograph pencil. So I think I'm going to drill a hole right on the line this time. Normally I do it in the middle of the binding, but I think I'm going to go on the line this time. Okay, the dots are in. Let's get this neck back on the body. Okay. Time to get the nut in, I think. Just taking a bit off the bottom with the sander and to lower that nut down a little bit. So I'm going to remark it again with this pencil. Okay. So that's the higher of the two marks. You can see that. So I think it's now a question of getting the files out. I don't have any nut files, so this is going to be done with a mixture of devices. This is a blade from a hacksaw, which is basically a file. Okay, I've filed out the slots and polished up the nut. So I'm going to now glue that in. I'm going to use some of this Mitre Bond that Chris Franklin talked about with the activator pen. Looks interesting. So let's see if we can use this stuff. So just put a drop inside there. Well, this is quite thick, I like that. Just a little drop on there. Put the activator pen on the underside of this. Put the lid on. And hold it in for 10 seconds. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And woo! That's nice and firm. Excellent. Okay, well I think it's time to get the strings on, and I've got my, well, what are these, nickel wound strings to put on. Now then, while I'm doing that, we have an entry to our scoring challenge, and this new entry is from Reality Studios Custom Shop, and this is Andrew. Now then, Andrew is an electronics music producer as well as a fantastic guitar maker, and he made a scratch build guitar for the GGBO 2021 last year, and he's used that guitar, well I should say this guitar, to play his composition against the video that I put out there. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to click on that link that I'm putting in the corner there and go and have a listen to his track, because it is a really cool composition. And come back. I mean, don't worry, if you click on these links, don't worry, you can come back to this point in the video, so you're not going to miss anything. But I really would like you to go and see it on his site, and please leave him a comment. Cheers. Now I've got the strings on, and yeah, I told you that was a really great piece of music from Andrew at Reality Studios there. And yeah, I love the way that double bass kicks in underneath the guitar with the drums. Really subtle and yeah, magic. And please, you know, check out some of Andrew's electronic music. Go to his channel, have a look. It's really good stuff. Okay, let's try and tune this then. Got my old tuning pipes. That's a bit too high, I think. Sounds about right. Do you know what? I'm going to get a proper tuning kit. Okay, well, it seems to be all tuned up, so moment of truth now. If I can plug this in. You haven't plugged in. Oh, there's a twang. Okay, plugged in. Okay, volume up. Pickups in the middle. Ooh. We have the action's a bit high, which is fine. I've got to leave this neck to settle because it's got a bit of back bow in it, and I think once these strings are on, it's going to come back the right way. So let's push this forward. This should be the neck pickup. Nice, and this should be the two pickups there. could afford to get the pickups a bit nearer to the strings actually, but I think when I lower the action that should sort it out. So let's go back into the middle. Oh, that's a lovely tone. Beautiful. Now, you may remember in the last episode I featured Rick's guitar, the Rickocaster, a combination or a merger of the Rickenbacker and a Telecaster Slimline. And I said, oh well, it's a 12-string guitar, and I said it would be marvellous to hear what that sounds like. And I'm delighted to say that Rick has sent me a short video clip with a demo of that guitar. So here it is. I think you'll agree that those iconic 12-string sounds are absolutely fantastic. Well, Rick, thank you very much indeed for sending that over to me. That was fantastic. Well, folks, I think I'm going to call it a day for this video. And it's been a bit of a strange one because Carolyn and I have been suffering with COVID for the last couple of weeks and feeling a bit washed out, if I'm honest with you. But I've managed to get this guitar wired up and strung up. I still need to put some knobs on there. I still need to make some adjustment on the nut, get the action down a little bit, but I'm going to let the neck settle for a couple of weeks and then deal with that. And then I'll be able to do a proper demo of this guitar. Now, if you've stuck with me all 21 episodes, you'll know how this all started off. I started off with a bass guitar that I just wanted to add a pickup on and get rid of some rattles, and well, I seem to have ended up with a completely new bass guitar, and I'm absolutely delighted with it. It's yeah, it's just what I want, and it sounds amazing. And it's pretty well in tune as well in the intonation. So I'm pretty pleased with it. I'm going to be doing a demo with this bass guitar in the not too distant future, so you'll be able to hear it in its full glory. Anyway, I want to thank Robin for sending that marvellous guitar story in, and for Andrew at Reality Studios for uploading that amazing composition to our scoring challenge, if I can say it. Don't forget, you know, look, I'm really looking forward to getting some more entries into this challenge. It's about having a bit of fun, and you'll notice the 2 entries we've got from Sonical Mods and Reality Studios. Listen to their compositions, you know, very simple arrangements but fantastic pieces of music. If you've got a guitar you'd like me to feature on this channel, please contact me via my website, footstepsguitars.co.uk. Wow, thank you for staying with me. Stay safe. I'll see you soon.